A unit vector is a vector that has a magnitude of 1. Its length is 1. So the way that you find a unit vector given a vector is you take the vector and you divide it by its magnitude. And what that will do is that will give you a vector who has a length of 1. Okay? So find a unit vector with the same direction as these two. So what we have to do is we have to find the magnitude. So I'm going to do the magnitude of vector W is the square root of 6 squared plus a negative 2 squared. And these are all done exactly. These are not decimal approximations. Okay. So 40 is 2 square roots of 10. And everything's got to be simplified using radicals. Okay. So then we take this vector and we divide by this. So to find my unit vector, I take this 6, negative 2, and I'm going to divide by this 2 square roots of 10. So each of these get divided by 2 square roots of 10. So here, those cancel. And then I have to multiply by the square root of 10 over the square root of 10 to rationalize my denominator. And here, negative 1 the 2 cancels. I'm left with a negative 1 on top. And again, I have to multiply by square root of 10 over square root of 10 to rationalize the denominator. So my final answer would be 3 square roots of 10 over 10 and negative 1 square roots of 10 over 10. And this is not a nice one. If you're finding the length of a vector, something like this, most of you can quickly do these in your head. If you wanted to test this one and make sure that the length of this vector is 1, I would use my calculator. So if you wanted to find the length of that vector, you would take the square root of A. So I've got 3 square roots of 10 divided by 10 squared plus negative 1 square roots of 10 over 10 squared. And there's my magnitude of 1. And so if you're finding your unit vector, you can check and make sure that your length is in fact 1. All right, let's do this one. So my vector is negative 4, negative 8. I want to change that to a unit vector that has the same direction. So I'm just going to take this divided by its magnitude. So I have to find its magnitude first. So the square root of negative 4 squared plus a negative 8 squared, or 16 plus 64, which is 80. 80 has a perfect square factor excuse me, of 16. So I get 4 square roots of 5. So I'm going to take my vector divided by this to find my unit vector. So each of my components get divided by 4 square roots of 5. Here the 4 cancels. Here another factor of 4 cancels. I again have to rationalize my denominator, so I'm going to multiply by the square root of 5 over the square root of 5. So I get a negative square root of 5 over 5, and then a negative 2 square roots of 5 over 5. And again, I can check my magnitude and make sure that my magnitude is 1. So I have the square root of negative square root of 5 divided by 5 squared plus negative 2 square roots of 5 divided by 5 squared. And there's my magnitude of 1.